Well, howdy, everybody. I'm sitting there listening to all these big arguments about Donald Trump being racist, of course, because he's calling out Elijah Cummings on Baltimore. I don't understand the Democrats these days. I mean, being called a racist doesn't mean anything anymore. If you ain't black or brown or yellow or red or green, you're a racist. And if you're white, you're racist. It's always going to be that way now. They have completely watered down that term. Um, that's all they've got. The whole time he's been in office is trying to impeach him over something they have no evidence about. They want to sit there and argue, and I'm sure all you left-leaning folks, if you decide to reply on this, are going to sit there ripping me apart saying he wasn't exonerated with the Mueller hearings and all that stuff. But guess what? It's not the attorney's job to exonerate. It's a judge's job to It's a judge's job to exonerate somebody of a crime. And in order to do that, you have to be indicted for a crime. And as Mueller stated, they didn't have the evidence to indict him. So he comes out, of course, after the Mueller hearings and, calls out Elijah Cummings and on his mismanagement in Baltimore. And because Elijah Cummings is black, okay, well, he's a racist. And then, of course, all the media outlets, they want to say, because him saying that it's rat and roach infested in Baltimore, that the rats and the roaches represented black and brown people, which is not what it meant. The Democrats like to look too deep into things that are said and completely twist them around to be something racist, because that's all they got. Everything's racist. You want to close up our borders and make sure that illegals don't get in our country and they go through the proper processes? Oh, well, you're a racist. I'm so tired of it. And I'm going to keep this video short because I can go on and on about this nonsense. But, the bottom line is the Democrats and the Republicans are supposed to be working together. I'm a union pipe fitter. I ain't a Democrat because my eyes been open the older I got. I'm not a Republican either. And I wasn't for Hillary in that last election, but I wasn't for Trump either. I didn't trust him. But I will say this, as I always say, if somebody gets in office that I was not supporting, I pray to God that they prove me wrong. Well, Trump has proved me wrong from day one. Trump is the only president in my time here on earth that I've ever seen from day one go and do every single thing he promised on the campaign trail. And that's what the Democrats don't understand. That's why Democrats are going to lose in 2020, because they want to keep on concentrating on this nonsense racism where it don't exist. They want to keep on trying to, pursue this ridiculous impeachment over something that never happened. They even admitted that the studies have shown that even though the Russian trolls or whatever had actually been able to hack into the voting machines, not one vote was ever changed. So what are they pursuing? Okay. But they've got to start working together, is what the bottom line is. They act, both parties, mostly the Democrats nowadays, they act like they are our leaders, like we're their serfs. And the sooner everybody stops just listening to what the media is saying on TV and start thinking for themselves and researching everything for themselves, the better we're going to be off as a country. Because we got to get out of this stagnant mess that we're in. Because this racial divide, I hate to say it, I don't like to pick sides, but it's all been the Democrats for quite a few decades now. They are constantly calling racism. I mean, when he talked about the squad, I call them the suicide squad, because not only are they committing political suicide by being un-American with all their comments and things like that, The Democratic Party is committing suicide by not distancing themselves from these four idiots. You know? Oh, I guess I'm a racist too because those four idiots happen to be a woman of color. Whatever, you know? I know what I am and I ain't a racist, so calling me a racist don't mean nothing. But, you know, that's the other thing. That really gets me is that, you know, they as soon as he criticizes somebody else, especially in Congress, okay, and those people, person or persons, happen to be of color, he's a racist. That's why he picked on them. And that's not why he picked on them. He picked on them because the record of what they say and what they do is right there. Okay, if they were all white, they would have picked something else to us. They would have either ignored it, the Democratic Party, and wouldn't have said a word about it, or they just would have said he's a mean-spirited person. Well, Democrats have to realize that the entire reasons that Donald Trump got elected and why he will be elected again in 2020, probably in a landslide victory, is because the man does what he says what he promises on the campaign trail. He works hard at it. He's making America great every single day. And at the core of all that, the man speaks to the American people. He doesn't speak with a forked tongue like every politician before him. He does not speak with a forked tongue. He speaks his mind, and yeah, he's blunt, and, you know, a lot of people can't handle that, and that's why they're outraged at him and everything. But he is president and will be president again because of the way he is, the way he speaks. He says it the way he sees it. He talks the way Americans want someone to talk because he's like one of us. Even though he's a multi-billionaire, he's still like one of us. He actually cares about America. And the sooner that you know, you see it with the walk away movement. How many people of color are walking away from the Democratic Party because they are seeing that the Democratic Party has been nothing but slave owners on a plantation. They keep the votes of minorities, the blacks and the Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, Cubans, whatever, you know, for the most part, because they make these promises that they're going to get things for free. You know, and these promises are never fulfilled. Their situation never gets better. But under Trump, their situation is getting better. You know, and it's going to continue to get better. The more and more of those people, you know, leave the Democrat Party and start waking up and opening their eyes. So, you know, that's my little vent for today and my little spiel. And I'll make some more videos, try to keep them short. All right, see y'all later. God bless America.